Yesterday, Sam was taken to a court in the United States. This comes after he was extradited from the Bahamas to the United States on Wednesday. After being taken to a court in the United States, the judge there agreed to release Sam on a bond of $250 million. That is equivalent to 25 billion Kenyan shilling. You may ask yourself, why such a hefty bond? And it's actually the highest bond in the history of the United States. In my opinion, and also according to the experts who are analyzing the case, the high bond equates to the magnitude of the case that is facing Sam. Now, FTX collapse is one of the biggest financial fraud cases in the history of the United States. I think it's actually the biggest financial fraud case in the history of the United States. And therefore, with such magnitude, it then demands a hefty bond, which now Sam was given that equates to 25 billion Kenyan shilling. His release on bond was attached to 4 key conditions. Number 1, he is to remain in his parents' home in California. Number 2, he is expected to always wear a monitoring bracelet so that it can indicate his location always. Number 3, he is supposed to surrender his passport to the authorities. And number 4, he is expected to have his transactions remain under $1,000 unless approved otherwise by the authorities. Another interesting thing to note in this case is that 2 close associates to Sam, that is Caroline Ellison and Gary Wang, have pleaded guilty to some of the fraud accounts. Caroline Ellison is the ex-girlfriend to Sam and also the one who was heading the Alameda research. And number 2, Gary Wang is the co-founder of FTX. Both of them have pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud and committing wire fraud on FTX customers, and the conspiracy to commit wire fraud and committing wire fraud on Alameda lenders. Caroline Ellison, who is the ex-girlfriend to Sam, was the one who was in charge of Alameda Research, which was founded in 2017. Basically, Alameda Research was founded as a sister company to FTX. Alameda Research was to act as a platform for lenders, which was to provide both crypto liquidity and also to offer a market for the digital assets. Both Caroline Ellison and Gary Wang have now agreed to work with prosecutors on the case that is facing Sam Bankman-Fried, who is the founder of FTX. The case will now be mentioned next on January the 3rd, and we are all glued to see what is going to happen next and how the case is going to proceed from there.